I always wonder because, there's a lot of people write newsletters. I know you do too. A lot of people do their own homework and have their own personal investment frameworks. They try to run money themselves. They don't just invest directly in betas. They're not just seeking balance and diversity like an all-weather portfolio, but they're trying to pick stocks. What kind of chances do you think a typical individual investor has to generate alpha in markets?
So I guess what I would say is this. Passive index strategies or even passive buy and hold strategies. I'm a John Bogle type. I believe that the best way to own passive is passive because you're not paying transaction costs. And so if you layer in transaction costs into, active managers who are saying, I'm going to buy this stock because it's cheap, which, by the way, is a form of alpha. If they are correct when they buy a stock and they sell another stock and, they outperform for alpha reasons, not just because the long happens to be leveraged and the market goes up or, other things that are just easy to do. You'll find, I think the history says that active management underperforms principally because they pay transaction costs. So let's start with that. And these are professional money managers. Individual investors pay higher transaction costs. And
much higher.
I guess what I would say is that it would be very hard for me to have confidence if I was sitting as an individual investor, knowing, as much as some of them appear to know. I would think it would be extremely hard to generate consistent alpha through time after transaction costs and with, this is a complex market. And so, and always has been. And so, given the performance of professional money managers as alpha generators, the odds are stacked heavily against everyone, and more so the more transaction costs and the less understandings you have.
Yeah, to your point about Bridgewater being, one of the most sophisticated institutions in the world, dedicating hundreds of thousands of man hours a year to incrementally improve their investment process. And these are the very entities and agents that you're competing against, right, in the market.
Yeah,
so,
if they have a 0.8 Sharpe ratio on a particular strategy, which is a measure of your return versus risk, it's a home run for the year. If that's a meaningful, let's say bonds, and they can improve that ratio from 0.8 to 0.83, that's a grand slam for them.
Massive.
Not only does it help them this year, but it helps them for the rest of their existence until it decays back to lower numbers. But so they really invest in their improvement of their long-term alpha.